Well, good morning, and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It's Friday, September 10th, the 23rd Friday of Ordinary Time, and it is the feast day of St Ambrose Barlow, who is a Benedictine monk and martyr. He is one of the groupies known as the Four Martyrs of England and Wales, which were canonized by Pope Pius the Sixth, I think. But either way, it was that group of martyrs. That was a group of Catholic lay and religious men and women who were executed between 1535 and 1679 for treason and related offenses under various laws which were enacted by Parliament during the English Reformation. So they stood up for the faith and were killed. Are we willing to do the same thing for Christianity? It just seems like the ways of the East, the beginning parts of Western civilization, has reached its way even further west to the Americas. So, is our faith deep as that? That could be a challenge every day. Anyway, today's gospel is from Luke chapter 6, verses 39 through 42. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. And he told them a parable. Can a blind person guide a blind person? Will not both fall into a pit? No disciple is superior to the teacher, but when fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me remove that splinter in your eye," when you do not even notice the wooden beam in your own eye? You hypocrite! Remove the wooden beam from your eye first, then you will see clearly to remove the splinter in your brother's eye. All right, I think that's a good parable. We've heard the wooden beam and the splinter before, but what I think is important to note relative to this, before I get into the main point, is that this parable in regards to judging others and the wooden beam and the splinter. Notice it does say at the end, remove the wooden beam from your eye first. Then you will see clearly to remove the splinter in your brother's eye. So that means, I hate the phrase whenever people use it as a cop-out of, oh, you're a Christian, you can't judge, you can't. Who are you to judge? Most times, actually, I'm not going to say, sometimes that's the case. Who are we to judge? However, we are actually called to judge other people. As long as it is a righteous judgment, first of all, and as long as it's also, actually, first of all, the fact that you have judged yourself and corrected yourself first. And then you got to use that knowledge that you've learned about yourself and then bring that to other people. You can't just use, oh, you can't judge. It's not your right to judge. No, we are called to judge. It's just a righteous judgment. We get to come up with situations all the time. Like if let's say I struggled with, I was an alcoholic. And then I cure myself. I judge myself. And then I become dependent on things other than alcohol, dependent on virtue, and improve my faith life. And I have different techniques and gone through gone through AA. And now I see somebody else that's struggling with alcoholism and they're an alcoholic. So you're saying that it wouldn't be in your good judgment to help them? Like, that's ridiculous. So that is so I think that's important to say. So remove the one in your eye first, then you will see clearly to remove the splinter in your brother's eye. So that's the key. We got to make sure that we can see clearly. And then on the other side, a different challenge for today, if that one doesn't seem fitting for you. You can always look at, I think it's important to see, like, no disciple is superior to the teacher. But when fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. Because it's within our human nature that we are always seeking people to model ourselves after. Because we have a hard time figuring things out on our own, right? Of course, Jesus Christ should be the highest model. But We want somebody, that we work with day in and day out. So we all have somebody. That's why you got to hold yourself to a high standard and realize that other people are watching. So that is because if you are trained properly, you never know who's looking up to you. And if you conduct yourself, behave, speak in a certain way, how much that can influence other people, whether they try to be just like you, where you're on a level playing ground, which is such a gift, and also could be a challenge too. So, who is it that you look up to, or who is it that I look up to, and what is it about them that gives you reason to look up to them? What is attractive to that? And then after you recognize that, ask yourself, do you see that in yourself? So we're kind of doing a self-examination today with our challenge, and then trying to act upon that. So that's all I got today. With all that being said, have a great Friday. Have a great start to your weekend. God bless and keep it real. In the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen.